Hey guys, Coach Jake here alongside Coach Delane.
Hey guys.
We got our third video for you in our series. Today we're going to talk about low back and more specifically low back pain. First, we'll start out with talking about why we get low back pain. There are several reasons why we might have it. The first being just not bracing during our exercises. And by bracing, I mean making sure our abs and our core is nice and tight. Sometimes we hit a lift, we don't think about our core when we're doing it because maybe we're squatting, right? We think of that as a leg exercise, but that core is important. It's important for that core to be tight, to be braced. And again, when I say brace, I mean tight, right? Think about taking your rib, your top rib, to your hips like someone's about to punch you in the gut, right? And you want to brace that core before you hit that rep to make sure that's nice and stable, so it's not loosey-goosey on you, and so that low back isn't engaged during that rep. Another reason why you might have low back pain is you're just using too much weight, right? We talked about this in our first video with knee pain. Sometimes all we have to do is take a little weight off the bar, whether we're squatting, whether we're using the kettlebell. Sometimes it just might be too heavy, and so we lose our posture, our form, and our low back kind of compensates for that, which causes a lot of stress on the low back, which causes that low back pain. And then finally, just like in our first video, sometimes we just gotta focus on the joints above or below, right? So we talked about our ankle and our hips in our knee video. Today, with low back pain, oftentimes it's a result of tight hips or a tight T-spine, meaning like the mid portion of our back, right? If those two joints are tight, they're supposed to be mobile joints, right? So they're supposed to be able to allow for movement. If they're tight, that low back, which is supposed to be a rigid kind of joint there, kind of compensates. It starts to move when it's not supposed to, and it causes a lot of discomfort and a lot of pain.
Absolutely. So like Jake said, those are a couple of ways of why we might get this low back pain. Some ways to avoid it, like what he mentioned, bracing, keeping the core stable, making sure that any exercise that you're doing, you want to think about taking your rib cage and your hips, pulling them toward each other, like he said, as if someone's going to punch you in the stomach. That alone will help alleviate a lot of back pain. Another thing that can help is thinking about your posture during any of the exercises. So oftentimes in the gym, you'll hear us saying, proud chest, Superman, I want to see the writing on your shirt. That's all to make sure that you have your shoulders back, chest is proud. We spend so much of our time at home, on our computers, on our phones, in this bent over position. So making sure that we get that proud chest the whole time will help alleviate any of that back pain that we might feel during the exercise.
We're gonna go over just some of those exercises where you guys might feel some of that low back pain, right? Where our back's kind of compensating for some of our movements. Things like the swing, RDL, and then various other ones. So we'll go over those right now for you guys, so you guys get kind of a visual of what we're talking about, when we're talking about why we get it, how we get it, and ways to avoid it. So we'll go over that right now for you guys. All right, guys, so we're just gonna go over the RDL right now. All right, that's a very common exercise that you see in a lot of our workouts. And there's a lot of things that you can do that kind of put some stress on that low back. Delane's gonna show a couple no-nos with that RDL, okay? That first no-no is we don't get those shoulders back, right? So as we lower that belt down, we round those shoulders. See, there's a nice round back there. We don't want that, because then when we come up, that low back is getting put under a lot of stress. All right, so how we fix that is that progression we do, right? So it's that Superman, Supergirl. We get those shoulders back, and then from there, it's a soft bend in those knees, push those hips back and high, and we keep those shoulders back. We fight for that proud chest. So if I'm in front of Delane, I can see her DSC logo the whole time. All right, that's the goal there. That's gonna help put that strain on the hammies and our upper back and taking it away from the low back. And that's where we should be feeling it, in our hammies and in our butt. Second error we might make is, say we get those shoulders back, we're feeling good up there, all right, we push our hips back, but now that bell is coming out away from our body. And again, what that does, the further away the bell is from our body, the better chance that when we come back up, we're engaging that low back, okay? So what we want to do here, guys, is we get those shoulders back, soften those knees, and what we want to try and do is aim that bell for your heels. So it's almost like as you push your butt and your hips back, those hands follow, and they're reaching back towards your heel. Again, putting a lot of the stress on your hammies and your glutes, where it should be, and not on that low back. All right, guys, another exercise where sometimes we might feel a little tightness in our low back is our swing. Again, a very common exercise that we use a lot in our workouts. So we'll go over a couple of things that you might be doing that cause that low back pain, and again, how you guys can fix those at home, okay? So the first thing you might be doing at home on that swing, all right, you hike that belt back, all right, we squeeze our butt, we get tall, but we're not really getting tall. We are arching that back, all right, putting a lot of strain on our low back there, okay? What we really want to focus on there.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. That hurts, guys. That hurts.
I feel good.
All right, that hurts, right? We put a lot of strain on that low back when we don't get tall, okay? We're getting a little too long at the top of our swing, and what we want to focus on is when we hike that belt back, all right, you're going to squeeze your quads, squeeze your butt, and that's going to help get you nice and tall. Think about, as you come up, guys, getting that head up as tall as you can, right? You're at the doctor's office, they're taking your height, you want to get nice and tall. Think about getting tall and not about swinging backwards, okay? All right, guys, and now the second thing you might be doing with the swing that might cause a little low back tightness is when we swing that bell, right? That bell is a little bit too low between our legs, okay? So sometimes when we go back, that bell's dropping below our knee or maybe knee height. Big no-no there, okay? What that's gonna do is that's gonna force those shoulders around a little bit. Again, putting a lot of strain on that low back when you drive back up, okay? So when you're doing your swing, what you wanna think about is going butt to belly, right? Butt to belly. Pretend there's a triangle from your knees all the way up to that groin. You wanna keep it tight up in that triangle. Those hands are reaching back towards your butt. And then again, squeezing those quads, squeezing that butt, and again, shooting that head up nice and tall, okay? If we do that, it will help alleviate some of that stress on that low back.
Woo! Woo! Okay. All right, guys, so now we're going to talk about some stretches that can help open up the hips, the T-spine, so we can make sure that we're feeling good during these lifts. So first what we're going to talk about is a T-spine rotation. So standing up on your feet, you're going to have your fingertips right underneath your chin, elbows up about shoulder height, and then from there, you're going to rotate that elbow behind you. Gaze follows. As you get as far as you can, you open that hand up, point your hand behind, and then go back to center. So as Jake does this, he rotates through his upper back. So he's fighting to try and keep his hips square in front of him while he's doing this. And then every time that he gets to the end, he exhales and then opens his hand up and exhales again. So we want to focus on 2 exhales every time that we hit this one. So I would say you want to do maybe 5 to 6 per side, nice exhale every single time, and then bring it back. That'll really help open up that T-spine. From there, we're going into a little quad hip rock. So this one is going to be on the ground on all fours. You're going to take one foot and you're going to loop it behind right into what I think Curtis likes to call the armpit of your knee. You're going to put that toe right in there, and then you're going to slide your hips back behind you. So you want a nice exhale, slide it back. You're going to feel that stretch in your hips, in your glute. Just feel that stretching out. Exhale through it, exhale through that tension, and then bring yourself back up. Again, same thing, you can hit maybe 5 per side here, making sure it's a nice long exhale that'll help loosen up those hips in there. From there, guys, we're gonna go into some hip lifts. So for this one, you're gonna stay in that same quadruped positioning. You're gonna start out with your right knee first, so it's gonna come up off the ground, and you're gonna drive that heel back behind you. So you're gonna have that at about 90 degrees. From there, you're gonna bring it right back down, and then same thing. So drive that heel behind you, squeezing your butt here, and then bring it right back in. So again, this is helping to open up that hip area. Make sure that you're exhaling through the tension here, holding that position for about 1 or 2 seconds, and then bring it right back down. Again, 5 per side there, a couple rounds of that. For our final one, we're going to talk about a little rectangle breathing. So you might have heard us mention it before in some of the workouts that we've been doing. So you can do this either sitting, standing, laying on the ground. Jake loves to do this after a really hard workout because he can't move. So he'll just lay on the ground. You can have your feet flat, you can have them out, whatever's comfortable for you guys. But the big focus is on your breathing here. So I'll go over the rectangle part of it first. So you want it to be a 4-second inhale through your nose. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold at the top for 2 seconds, and then exhale for 4 seconds. 2, 3, 4, and then again hold at the end for 2 seconds. So that is the rectangle for the breathing. So Jake's gonna keep on with that breathing, that 4-second inhale, 2-second hold, 4-second exhale, 2-second hold. The big focus of this is to help bring the heart rate down while still sort of engaging that core area. So he's working on his breathing, but he's also making sure that that heart rate is coming down. Okay, so this is a really good exercise at the end of a workout. Bring the heart rate down, make sure you leave feeling good.